Well, Massachusetts Senator Scott Brown is settling in on Capitol Hill just about a month after defeating Democrat Martha Coakley for the seat held by Senator Ted Kennedy for almost 40 years. The stunning GOP win in the bluest of blue states catapulted Brown and his family into the national spotlight, his name even surfacing as a possible contender in the 2012 presidential election. Take a look at this. A recent Gallup poll has Senator Brown coming in fourth among voters, ahead of Mike Huckabee and Newt Gingrich, when they were asked who they would like to see as the GOP candidate for president. So, how has life changed for Senator Brown and his family since his win? Senator Brown's daughter, Ayla Brown, is my guest now. Hi, Ayla.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for being here. So, what do you think of that? Your father coming in fourth ahead of Huckabee, ahead of Newt Gingrich for the next presidential election.
I mean, it's definitely an honor. I don't think we're even thinking that far ahead as a family, but it's really exciting. I think we're just excited to see how he does down in Washington and what the next step is for our family, whether we move down there or stay here. I know my mom has taken a leave of absence from work for about a month to be down there with him, and he likes that.
And she's a news anchor in your area.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so I have to press you a little bit on it. Have you talked about it? Has your dad indicated any interest in running for president?
Not now. I mean, I think he's just looking forward to doing his job, and we actually joked around about that the other day because he mentioned that a poll came out and that he was fourth in the poll. But he was just like, you know, I don't think it's for me right now. We have to see how the next couple of years goes first and do my job.
Can you imagine living in the White House, you?
No. I mean, maybe someday, but I never thought about it as a little kid growing up. That was not one of my biggest fantasies, but we'll see.
You know, it's so interesting talking to you because, of course, the whole nation watched as your dad celebrated his victory, and we saw you and your beautiful family. And, you know, a couple of weeks before that, no one really nationally knew who Scott Brown was. And now we all know you. We all know your family, or at least we know a little bit of you. How has life changed since this night?
Well, to give you a perfect example, my mom and dad drove the truck down from D.C. to both my games this weekend at NC State and Virginia Tech. And both games that they went to, it was just so insane, the people that were coming up to him and shaking his hand, asking for autographs. And even at a women's basketball game, they had to have police come over and police detail and sit with him on the sidelines just in case anything were to happen. But the excitement is nationwide. It's not just in Massachusetts, which is the most exciting part. It's amazing.
Wow. And you've also been catapulted to superstar status as a result. You know, I have to ask you as well, because while we're on the subject of the night he won, your dad made headlines for, among other things, calling out you and your sister on your availability. Let's listen to the soundbite, and then I'll get you to weigh in.
Okay.
So I want to thank Ayla and Ariana for their help as well. And just in case anybody who's watching throughout the country, yes, they're both available. No. Only kidding.
And then he says, actually, Ayla is available. Ayla, what was your reaction to that? Because you had a look of mortification, good-humored mortification.
I mean, I was embarrassed, but unfortunately it's true, so there's nothing I can deny about that. But I mean, I'm looking for love, but I wasn't expecting my dad to go on national television and tell everyone. But it was really funny. We joked about it afterwards.
What did you think of, you know, he got heat from that. Some people came out and said he was totally inappropriate, and some people really took it seriously. What was your reaction to that?
I was kind of offended that people thought it was that serious, because those who know my father, they know that he jokes around all the time, and he doesn't hesitate to throw a couple embarrassing comments at our way, especially at the dinner table, just for fun. But that's what people need to realize, is that my dad is a human, and he will say comments like that, and it makes for a good couple laughs, I'll tell you that.
And speaking of embarrassing and fun, he also posed for Cosmo, which everybody saw, that sort of centerfold picture of him, which, you know, had a lot of women swooning, but also brought a lot of criticism of how could this guy be our next U.S. Senator. What do you think when you see your dad in such a photo?
Honestly, it happened so long ago before I was born that I can't judge him for it. And, you know, if Ariana or myself wanted to pose nude, he also can't say anything about it. So it's kind of like a two-way street. But when I see that picture, I'm just like, that's part of almost our family history now. It's going down in the record books.
Yeah.
Because, you know, there's nothing you can do about it.
Most people don't want to picture their parents in any state of undress, so I feel for you on that one.
I know.
Now, your dad has famously challenged President Obama to a basketball game that would involve you because you're a basketball superstar. Any progress on that?
No, and I'm kind of disappointed that there's not much more progress. I would love to play the president, and I want him to bring whoever he wants on the court, and it'll be fun. I mentioned in an interview before that I think we should charge admission and have all the proceeds go to Haiti, at least do something that we can help out the community and make it a fun, competitive game. And, you know, no one can hate the president for helping out a little bit.
I'd buy a ticket to that. Now, what about you, Ayla? What are you doing now? I know a lot of our viewers may know you from your stint on American Idol, where you were trying to be a singing superstar. Are you still pursuing that career?
Of course. After graduation, which is my first goal, I graduate May 24th, and then after that I'll be singing and singing and singing, and I'm so excited. That's kind of what I've been holding myself back of doing for the past 4 years, so it's finally my chance to shine.
Oh, I thought it was sweet. Your dad, you know, he had you sing on the night of his victory, and that got you some good exposure. If people want to check out you and your music, where should they go?
Based on NCAA regulations and rules, I can't tell you, but just know that I have a new EP called Circles that came out a couple weeks ago, so it's definitely a good CD.
Okay, well then you won't say it, but I will say AylaBrown.com, AylaBrown.com, AylaBrown.com.
Thank you.
Ayla, thanks so much. All the best.
Thank you.
All right, take care.